Hi, this is Leah, and today we're going to install a single pole light switch. Now, I'm going to address exactly what that is later. Right now, let's talk about some precautions you want to take. And the first thing that you want to do is you want to shut off the power to the switch you're going to replace. So let's take a look at the breaker panel. I'm going to open it up, and if you're coming close, you'll realize that some of my breakers are listed. This breaker here, it controls the range. This breaker over here, it controls the dryer. Okay, so not every breaker is going to be listed. Sometimes none of them are listed. Sometimes they're all listed. In the case here, some are listed and some are not. I know that I need to turn off the breaker that controls the switch to this light above. So, I'm going to start with the top breaker. It says lighting here, but it doesn't say which lights are controlled. Okay? So, I'm going to turn off the top breaker. Well, that didn't do anything with this light. So, I'm going to turn it back on. Now, I'm going to move on to the second breaker. Ah, we found it. And we're going to leave that breaker off because now I know that the power is shut off. I'm going to also put a sign up over the breaker panel just to let people know that I'm working on the light. Now I'm going to show you what you need to do this job. Okay, let me show you some of the tools you may need. We may not need all of this, but in the event we do, we'll have it. This is a pair of needle nose pliers. Here we have wire strippers. This is a screwdriver with a reversible bit, Phillips and flathead. This is an all-in-one tool. I'm going to be using the knife to cut electrical tape. We have electrical tape. We have the light switch that we're going to install. These are wire connectors here. I have two different sizes because we may need one or the other. A flashlight of some sort. I have a regular flashlight, and then I have this flashlight I like because you can hang it up in the event that there's something close by to hang it up with. What we have here is a no-touch volt tester, and I'm going to show you how this operates. I'm going to test the circuit using a no-touch circuit tester. And I'm going to show you how it works on a live circuit first. So as you can see, the light is remaining green. And that means that the power was successfully cut off because it didn't go to red. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove this screw and this screw here. We've got the top screw out. Now I've moved on to the bottom screw. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the switch away from the wall to give us a little room. Now every switch should be wired where you have a little wiggle room to pull the switch out of the box. This is the box and this is the switch. So we're going to pull it out, but there's one other thing that I want to be mindful of. I don't really want to disturb the wires too much. They should be secure, but let's just be careful anyway. So I'm going to pull it out to give myself a little more room to work. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is a single pole light switch. It's not wired to any other switch, okay? Will you move in close and give the folks at home a real good look at that? See that bare wire? Well, that means that's the ground because that's the only bare wire you're going to find in that box. This right here, that's your grounding screw. How can you tell? Well, it's green, and green means ground. And then you move up, and you see the wire that's connected to it? It's copper, and it's bare. That's another indicator that it's the ground. Now, ground could also have if you can get further in the box, you may be able to see this. There's a green wire back here, see that? It's got its sheathing on there, but that's a ground as well. So ground, remember, is either a bare wire, like this, or it's a green wire, like this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this wire. Okay, so now we're on the other side, and we're going to need to loosen up this brass terminal and this brass terminal, and we're going to remove this black wire and that black wire. So let's do that now. Okay, so I'm going to remove the wire. There we go, to the side. Now I'm going to take off the bottom wire in the same fashion. Okay, so that's the bottom, and we're just going to slide it off like so. So I've got the new switch, and we're going to install it. It's a single pole switch, and there's the ground there. That's our grounding screw. You can see it very clearly. And then you flip it over on the other side, and there are our brass terminals for our hot feed. Now, some of you may be saying, well, wait a second, I don't remember which wire, Leah, you took off of this terminal, and what wire you took off of this one? Folks, it doesn't matter. You can put either black wire on either terminal. Now, I will say this, make certain that it's a single pole switch. Okay, now before I attach the new light switch, I want to just draw your attention to how the wires are. You see this like little loop there? That's what you want. You want a little loop with a little bend here. Looks like a question mark somewhat. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it easier for us to hook it to the terminals. If you have any questions about how to strip wire, go to the tools section of the website, and there's a video that shows exactly how to use your wire strippers and your needle nose pliers to put the little bend in and strip the wire. Now first we're going to install this ground here, and we're going to attach it to the ground screw. And again, the ground screw is green. The ground wire is bare, or it has a green sheathing. Okay, so I'm going to hook it on here like so. I want to make certain it's got a snug fit, which it does. So that's got a pretty good fit. But you know what? Let me just snug it up a little bit more with the needle nose. There we go, I like that. Now I'm going to tighten that screw. Now that's on good and tight. That's exactly what you want. Okay, so now we're going to come over to the other side where our hot wires will be attached to these two brass terminals. Okay, so that's nice and tight. Now I'm going to do the top one. Okay, so we want the hook to come from the bottom, and the reason for that is when you start to tighten up the screw, all right, you're not going to be backing the wire out. If it were on top, we would be backing the hook out of it. But because we're coming in on the bottom and we tighten it, there's no chance of backing that wire off. So I'm going to attach it. There we go. Now we're going to tighten this. Both wires are attached, and they're attached securely. So now it's time to place the switch back in the wall and secure it to the box. Okay, so I'm lining up the top screw. Now I'm going to attach the bottom screw. I'm not going to tighten them completely because I'm going to have to line up the cover plate. So the cover plate doesn't quite line up, so I'm going to have to make an adjustment, and that's why you don't screw these all the way in. So you can just slide them a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's lined up perfect. So now I'm going to attach these screws. So I'm putting in the last screw. There we are. So they're good. Now we'll turn the power back on and we'll check the switch. Now it's time to turn on the power. So the job is completed. I'm satisfied. I'm not in the dark. So this is a quick job, folks. cost us $4.99 for the switch. Now, if someone came to install this, electrician, it would have cost you $120. But we did it for less than $5 today. This is Leah saying you can do this.